Hello. It looks like we're live. Let's check my stream and see where we are. Northwest Carp. Live. I think that'll do, won't it? It's looking good. Yeah, okay. Well, for once we are live, on time and fully working. What about that? Good evening, Chris. Hello. How are you, mate? Are you okay? I noticed you snuck another video out there the other week, but I haven't seen it yet. It's on my watch list. It's on the we'll get to eventually list. But I've been fishing, mate, so I've not had as much time at home as I normally have. Since Christmas, I've not done a session at all, but I got fed up of lockdown, and I got a ticket for the local water, and I am now going fishing again. Went on Saturday, went on Monday, so I don't have a lot of time at the moment, but I'll get round to watching your video. Good to see you here anyway, mate. And it's nice to see you found your way over from my other channel. This is strictly a kind of live streaming and shorts channel, this one. Let's keep it away from my main content. Bald Eagle, evening, mate. Have you been out? I have. I'm well ahead of the game today as well, because I've actually got some pictures to put up that I can bring into the live stream. I've added them to the stream. I did it about 6:30. Added some pictures in that I can transition in, so you can have a look where I'm fishing and what I've been catching. Yeah, a couple of day sessions at the same bit clubbed into one. Yeah, same lake. Is that the lake you caught that stunning fully scaled from? That was the last video yours I watched. That fully scaled in the snow was just outstanding, mate. Absolutely brilliant. I'm assuming it's the same place. Or have you moved on? I can see we've got 5 in now. Evening, chaps. Evening, Rob. Still shielding, Bald Eagle. Yeah. You can tell, can't you? Just I've gone from to that's going fishing does that for me. I don't like being out of the game for too long. And 6-7 weeks, something like that, with no fishing is quite a lot. Different venue, Chris, right? Okay, fair play, mate. I tell you what, you get about a bit, and you seem to catch everywhere you go as well. So well done. Yeah, it's good to get out anyway. I've only been going to, I don't know whether any of you know it, the Brickworks at Morton Brickworks. It's local. It's probably just about closer than Boris goes on his bike. So it's good to be out. I couldn't really think of anywhere else to go besides there, to be honest. And I've bought myself a season ticket for the place as well, so I can go back anytime I want. So apparently it's good in the evenings in summer. You can finish work and nip up there for 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours. You generally catch a few fish as well. Ooh, my stream's having a freak. Don't like that at all. Stop it. Yeah, I can't imagine why, Chris. That's it's a bit of a capture, that one, mate. I mean, you know, a carp in the snow is one thing, like, but you know, one that big and that nice looking is it's a lifetime one, that, isn't it? It's one you'll remember forever. So I'm not surprised it's booked up, to be honest. Tell you what, it's not the camera that's doing this either, that's making this go schizoid. It's something in the software, I think, or the cables and the connections. I don't know. Yeah, I think I might just waggled the cable there and it seems to have stopped. Yeah, not surprised, Chris. It's an outstanding capture, that, mate. And the fact that it's booked up just doesn't surprise me at all. But it is what it is. You know, you in order to get the results, you've got to be first in there, haven't you? And following someone's never as good as being first in. I don't think it is anyway. So you got in there, mate. Happy days. Robert ticket for the Brickworks is 80 quid a year. You can fish it on a day ticket. I think it's £9 a day, and a yearly ticket for 12 months is 80 quid. So I went last Saturday, like, with one of my mates, just rocked up and paid me 80 quid. I'm still waiting for my permit, like, but I've got a receipt that I can use in the meantime until my card comes through. If you do go up there, Rob, and you get a permit, you've got to take a passport photo of yourself, because you know, they stick it in a card, like, and you become a member. It's an okay water. There's no big fish in there. Biggest is about 15 or 16 pound, but there's lots of them, and it seems to be, you know, it's not mega easy fishing, but it's enough to keep it interesting. You know what I mean? You'll have your days when you're blank and you don't catch anything, like, and you feel like you're getting nowhere. But it makes for interesting fishing. It's not the pushover that a lot of people think it is. So I paid me 80 quid anyway, and it looks like we're stuck there till the end of March. So, you know, I've got 2 weeks off in March, the week of the 8th and the week of the 22nd. So I've at least now I've got somewhere to go fishing when I'm off, because I was facing holidays with no fishing, and I wasn't having that. It was worth the 80 quid just for that, like. Yeah, new screen on your phone. No, it's doing it again. Like, I moved the wire before. In fact, I think I've frozen. I think I've gone and frozen myself, haven't I? Now, how did I get out of this last time? Yeah, it's locked up. Can you still hear me all right? Is everything okay, or do we need to... do we need to restart this stream? Oh dear. Hear you okay? Sound no picture. Right, okay. This is what I had last week, wasn't it? Let's see how we did it. Scenes. Do you know what? I cannot remember how I did it, how I got out of it. Never mind. Well, I'll carry on anyway. I'll carry on talking while it's frozen, and I'll see if I can unlock it and get it back out again. While I'm talking. So, where are we? Yeah, 80 quid a year, Rob. It's all right. I tell you what, one thing I do like about the Brickworks is you turn in by Cadbury's in Morton, and you go down the lane to the lake, and the lane's not as bumpy as most PA waters, so it's a little bit smoother, and there's no gates. If you're in a car, there's no gates, which is just heaven. You roll straight into the car park and get your gear out without having to unlock 2 or 3 gates at a time. So that works quite well. Quick transitions and see if I can get out of this. Yeah, I don't know if it disabled something. Was it a filter or properties? It says no source selected. No. I'll get it in the end. I'll make it go again. Don't worry. Gizmo, all right, mate. Yeah, I'm frozen, Chris. Sorry about that. This happened last week as well, mate. It's just one of those things. At least you can still hear me. The video is coming from somewhere else other than the microphone. So I'm not quite sure how to make it go again. I got it last week. I managed to sort it out, like, and solve it and start it again, but I can't remember what I did. No. Yeah, yellow. Yeah, put a post-it note on the screen for when it happens again. I'm not sure if something was running in the background, Rob. Let's try that now. No, it doesn't want to know, does it? No. Mr. Tyler, all right, mate. I'm suffering frozen screen again. Sorry. USB video. Deactivate. Activate. Okay. Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I'm not sure I'll remember how to do that again next week. But yeah. The good thing is at least you can rescue it. I am back. Sorted. Yeah, so this Brickworks anyway, 80 quid. Evening stew. I did see you come in there. Distractions, mate, just they're a pain in the backside. So yeah, this Brickworks. There you go. I'll transition in a picture for you, so you can see. That was me swim on Saturday. does seem to fish in a big wind. Now it was blowing a bit of a hoolie on Saturday, wasn't it, from the southwest or south, and it was a warm wind, and it certainly turned the fish on. I'm about halfway down the lake there. There's loads of people on my right, and the wind is hacking down the far end of the lake to the right, left to right, and it channels down into a bay at the very far end of the lake. Everybody on my right caught fish. There must have been 6 or 7 people fishing there, and they all had fish during the day. They were certainly active and moving around and stuff like that. And yeah, I got a couple of runs. I mean, I'm only fishing the margins. I'm fishing slack lines, so you know, my bobbins are on the floor, and the line's slack from the rod tip. So when I get a run, basically the monkey climber just smashes the top of the needle and goes, and then and it's off. And I had a fish on each rod, just fishing the margins out in front of me, one slightly to the right and one straight out. It's a bit like that. The margins, they slope down, so and they're on an angle like that, going right down to about 16 feet. And I had one at 12 feet and one at 7, and I caught off both of them. Scopex squid, Rob. I've still got Scopex. I'm still using it up. I've got a bucket full at the moment, and I think I've got enough to fill the bucket again. And then I'm out. Then I'm onto DNA. So Scopex squid is my bait. And yeah, it worked. Caught 2. I had one about 2:30 and one about 3:30. To be honest, I packed up a little after 3:30 because the guy who runs the place, Eric, he said, I'm just on my way round now. When I get back to my hut, come round and we'll sort your ticket out. So eventually, like after we'd been round, everybody got back to the hut about 20 minutes later, 10 to 4, and I looked at my watch and I thought, do you know what, that'll do, I'll wrap up. So I packed my gear, put it in the car, and went to see him about my ticket. I thought, you know, I've had a couple of fish, like I only fished about 3.5 hours, so I might have got another one had I have stayed. My mate stayed later, and he had one later on, so I probably would have got another if it stayed, but you know, I'm not greedy. And to be honest, I was back on Monday and I blanked. Totally different day. Same swim, same tactics. I was thinking, oh yeah, this will be a good one, and nothing. It was bright, high pressure, no wind, sunshine all day, and they just totally switched off. So they do like a big wind on there, it seems. And nobody else caught anything either, apart from my mate Kev, who had one on a zig about 2 foot under the surface in the middle. So apparently the zig fishing on there is quite good. And I think I'm going back on Friday, like, and the weather forecast is bright, high pressure and sunshine all day, so I shall be taking my zig with me, taking my zig bag, or my zig, not bag, but my zig bucket, I should say. It's got all my zig tackle in. That's one of the fish I had in the net, first fish of the year, mirror. £9, 12 ounces is what it weighed. High single. I'm not complaining, you know. I know there's no big fish in there. Like, I'll be lucky if I get one in the teens. So it's a lot of fish in the sort of like 6 to 12 pound range. And you know, I'm quite happy catching them at the moment, like, until we can go again. So that was my first one of the year. And if you want to see a picture of it, there it is. Let me just move over here. Where am I? Oh, I'm here. Hello. as you can see, that's my first fish of the year, £12. Hiya Luke, no, sorry, £9, 12 ounces. You can see the wind blowing its tail. Its tail's not perfect, like it's just, it's blowing a hoolie there. Might not seem it like, but it is. And then an hour or so later, it was followed by my first double of the year, which is this one here, 11.5. So 2 to start with, and I've got to say I'm happy with that. Well happy with that. So that was a good start to the year actually for my first session. I was happy with that. Just want to catch some more now. Just like the buzzer sounding. Yeah, it was all right, Stu. You know, for the day ticket water, Wirral day ticket water, like they were all right. Nice enough fish. Fish are nice and clean. They're not damaged in any way or anything like that. And they do seem to be growing very slowly. A couple of years ago, my mate said they were all £6, £6 or £7, and from what we've seen so far, like a lot of them are like 9 and 10 now. So the fish are, you know, slowly gaining weight. But we'll see how it goes on there. It's a good place to film on, and because you know it's day ticket. The fish are clean enough. Yeah, it should be a reasonably good water. It's somewhere I can go and get a few bites and you know, do a video as well. So I'll probably use it for filming from now on, to be honest. I haven't paid me 80 quid. I'll do some videos on there. So I'm happy with them anyway. And I'll see if I can add to that tally over the next few weeks, at least until we can go fishing again. Regarding the going fishing, by the way, I don't know what you guys think of it. Feel free to tell us. But looking at the comments and stuff like that, a lot of people are saying the 29th of March, because we can go night fishing again. But, and there's a big but in here, and we don't know what's going to happen with that at the moment. That's for night fishing, and it doesn't say anything about travelling. Travel restrictions lifted on 12th of April. So although you can go night fishing, you might only be night fishing local, and you still might not be able to go out of your area, so to speak. So I don't suppose it matters for me now. Like you know, I'll stick with this place for a few weeks. By the time the end of March comes, I'll have had my money in out of that £80 ticket and day tickets anyway. I've done 2 already. I'll be doing another 2 this Friday and Saturday, and then I've got 2 weeks off in March. Like, so I'll have paid me 80 quid off in day tickets by the time the end of March comes. You think it's the 29th of March? 29th of March for night fishing, but what about the travelling? Because I don't know about you, Stu, but I'm stuck without travelling. You know, I mean, okay, I've got the Brickworks now, like that's local, but before that, I couldn't go anywhere. My nearest water was 20 miles away, and I've got a mate who lives in Chester who went to my local where I normally do my fishing and where I've done a bit of my filming, and he said there was 9 people on at the weekend on a little water, and that's busy, and he said none of them were catching anything either, even though the conditions were good. He said that nobody caught anything and there was 9 people on. So I'm not sure I want to go back there now anyway. Yeah, it's whether they'll be able to get the travelling, Rob. That's the thing. It's we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, 40-minute drive. That's roughly, you know, I mean, the water that's 20 miles from me is 20 motorway miles. So, you know, at 60 mile an hour, it's still 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So, you know, I still can't go there. It's too far. What's the post on the PA forum today, Rob? I've not seen the PA forum, mate. I looked at it about a week ago, like, and I've not looked at it since. I generally only log in and look at it once every 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And then you can read all the posts in 5 minutes, or all the ones you'd be interested in reading anyway. Evening, Danny. Pointless making plans, 5 weeks between changes. As such, so just wait until he announces it. And, you know, there's always going to be the chance that that'll get pushed back, depending on the data. Luke, 250, mate. Happy days. Were you fishing a match again, mate, or just enjoying the day on the float? Just to think about, right, okay. Yeah, Gailey. One of my favourites, that stew. Some of the fish on my community tab are from Gailey. If you scroll back, I generally only fish it in October and November each year. I don't really bother going any other time, Stu, because it's so busy. But I like October and November because it goes on work party. So if you've done your work party and you've got your work party ticket, you're fine. But it's been furloughed, the work party system this year, like, so it's a free for all now, right the way through. So I probably won't go this year at all. But yeah, there's some cracking fish in there, mate. They're stunning looking. And if you can get into the shoal, you know, there's a lot of 20s to be caught. Red letter day on there generally means like about 10 or 15 20s. Personally, I can't see it going backwards now. Well, it depends on the infection rates, Danny, and how they get on with the vaccinations. They've already said the vaccinations are going down, slowing down, because they're having difficulty with the manufacturers supplying it. So you don't know. It's hopefully we'll come out of it, but we'll have to see. To pick up a new variant, like you said. The vaccine is the game changer. I had my vaccine five weeks ago. I've got my second one coming up in the first week in April. So literally about a week after the 29th of March, I'll be getting my second jab. You bought some heavier rods for your weedy water. Is your weedy water where I think it is, Rob? That carp fishing mecca. That I did rather well on. That carp fishing mecca that I put to the sword. I didn't put it to the sword as good as some people did, like, but I tell you what, I had a good few fish out of there. Yeah, okay. We have vaccinated all at-risk groups, and there's chances of below 50 of dying, and it was tiny. Yeah, I don't know, Danny. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the people dying and stuff like that. I'm not in any vulnerable group. The reason I've been vaccinated is because of work. All carp, all day. One at £14, one at 12. I'll tell you what, Luke, 250 carp in a day. I take it that's a commercial, mate. It'd actually take me about 5 years to catch that many fish these days. Yeah, I'll come down. I'm happy to come down for the day, Stu. It'll have to be when I'm off sometime. I don't like fish stew, but I do days on there, and I'm usually, when I fish there, I get up at 3:30 in the morning, and do some sandwiches and stuff like that, and I'm generally in the car park by 6 o'clock, because it's an hour and 40 minutes for me from my base in Wirral. So I'm in the car park for about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I've loaded up my barrow and I'm off, and I stay till the end, till it's dark, like, and it's a long day. It's, driving all the way there, all the way back, but I generally find it's a daytime venue anyway, mate. It does do runs in the dark, but a lot of the time they're coming out in the day, so I don't worry about the nights and stuff like that. I just, if you're doing a long day, like, that's enough time, even with the spod. Basically what I said Monday with charts. Yeah. Yeah, most people below 50 seem to have survival, like, but you don't know. The thing is, though, you don't know who's vulnerable and who isn't, because there'll be people that are carrying underlying health conditions who won't know they've got it. They'll just think things are normal when they're not. Keep luncheon meat on the hook for longer. The first thing that pops into my head, Luke, is fry it. Stick it in a frying pan with some olive oil, or maybe mix a bit of turmeric in with it or something like that, and then fry the sides, so it goes harder, so the sides are toughened. You can do it that way. A paste, those, like, the coils that they wind into paste, you can wind one of them into meat as well, but I tend to find they come off too easily. The other way is hair rig it, but instead of using a hair stop, use a matchstick and cut it to length, so that it's virtually as long as the cube of meat, so it can't pull through and you can't get it off. Just a thicker stop and wider one, so it won't pull through the meat. And as Gizmo says, buy the cheapest for the fat content. Yeah, sounds like me. Buy the cheapest. Or dry pasta spaghetti as a stop. That's from Bald Eagle. Yeah. Yes, it'll be interesting to see if we can go anyway. We'll have to wait and see, won't we, Danny? I'm alright anyway. I'm fishing again now, and I'll be fishing every week, and I'm quite happy just going locally to the Brickworks. I can film on there as well, so yeah, that hard grass you find is the best. Doesn't cost anything. There you go. Yeah, something thick and wider than a standard boilie stop, because boilie stops are quite small, aren't they? Like, they're okay with the boilie because they're hard bait, but you need something wider for the meat. I think you can get something called a meat mate as well. You might need to Google that. Don't think I've got any. And we tackle buckets downstairs, like, but I quite often fish with meat, and I've got something, I don't know what it is. Like, I think it's called a meat mate or something like that. It's like a round thing, and you can put the meat on it, and then thread your hair up through the middle of a piece of tubing. The tubing goes through the middle of the meat. Yeah, making do. We're all doing that, Danny, making do. I am as well at the moment, but as far as I'm concerned, as long as I'm on the bank and you know, I can sit on my chair, look at my rods, you know, watch the wildlife. One good thing about the Brickworks is the number of small birds up there, you know, like robins and stuff like that. They're in and out of your bucket all the time, taking food. So I like that, somewhere with a bit of wildlife. I can happily just sit for hours. Bites come quicker with the grass root. They can taste it or sense it. Actually, a little tiny piece of twig would probably be better, wouldn't it? Because you find them on the bottom anyway, and they must be used to picking them up and, you know, filtering them out and spitting them out. So a little tiny piece of twig would probably do the trick. Even a piece of rig tubing, stiff rig tubing or something like that. Just cut down to, you know, slightly less than the width of the meat. There's all kinds of things you can do, isn't there? Different ways of doing it. It's such a soft baked meat anyway. It's always going to come off at some point, isn't it? I've always had problems keeping mine on. Yeah, I found they get nibbled off, Rob. I was using a pink screw. It was even pink, the same colour as the meat. I think it was a Corum bait screw or something like that, in pink. And you can wind it into the meat and it goes on dead easy. And, you know, I was lobbing it out and fishing with it, like. And I kept getting my bait nibbled off, getting a couple of knocks on the rod tip with fish having a go at it. And I'd wind in, there'd be nothing there. I knew when the knock stopped that the bait was gone. Yeah, the hard grass, dog pee height. Yeah, and you know they will as well. That's one thing I don't like about the Brickworks, the amount of dog walkers walking around it. There's quite a few. Apart from that, it's not a bad place. It's a busy place. I mean, I'm picking my swims not based on where the fish are or anything like that, but where they can get in. Anywhere I can find with space. You know, like there's like 4 or 5 pegs with nobody in it. I'll go right in the middle, so I'm as far away from everybody as I can get. That's how I'm picking my pegs at the moment. But you should have seen it on Monday. Oh my God, it was pretty much full. There was not many pegs left empty at all, like. Which I think is, well, one of the reasons why I struggled. I just couldn't get no peace and quiet. But hey ho, you live and learn. Shaky box and net tied to the box with a bungee cord. Old school. Sounds like me, that, when I was a kid. Bungee cord and a shaky box. I've cut my hand, by the way. I showed you that last week, didn't I? The cut on my hand. I was gardening and I snipped myself with a pair of snips when I was trying to trim a rose bush. And yeah, I drew blood, and now I've got this scab on my hand, like, which I'm starting to pick off. It's not going very quick. I wish it'd go faster. If you see me doing this, it's because I'm picking at it. Yeah, sometimes you just need to walk a bit further than everyone else, Danny. That's the thing, isn't it? It's you can find space and you can find a bit of peace and quiet if you're prepared to put yourself out. A lot of people generally tend to be lazy, and they don't want to walk the distance or anything like that. One thing I have noticed about the brickies is not many people have got a trolley or a barrow. I've seen maybe one or two, but most people haven't. They've got to carry their gear down. So if they're fishing for carp and they've got the bivvy with them and stuff like that, then they're having to lug everything and do 2 trips, which is quite bad. Which brings me to another thing as well. Why do people take bivvies with them when they're only day fishing? Everybody's got to get off at dark, and it was like a pack-up procession on Monday when I was on there, and everybody's packed up and they were all trooping off, but there was like 4 or 5 bivvies up, and I'm thinking, why do you need that? Mad. I didn't even get my brolly out, just put my gear down like and sat there in the day. That was it. No brolly, no nothing. Yeah, you take with you what you need on the day, Danny, don't you? You decide what you're gonna do and drop everything else. Like Bald Eagle says, kitchen sink days are well gone. You go in the canal, Gizmo. Is that Leeds Liverpool, mate? Yeah, that's my favourite way of doing it, walking and looking. Just sometimes I sit and look. I'll have a walk around, and if I don't see nothing, then I'll plonk myself somewhere and keep my eyes peeled and just watch. I learned quite a bit on Monday just by sitting there and watching the lake. Yeah, walking and looking, it's a big edge a lot of people miss out on. Absolutely right. Yeah, we are a sensitive bunch, Danny. I tell you what though, we're not as bad as barbel anglers, mate. They're the worst of all. Is he just Nesh, Danny? Is that what it is? I don't know why he's got so many layers on in the summer. Most of the time, get away with a t-shirt, unless it's dark and he's going overnight. Does he feel the cold? Some people do, mate, more than others. I find as I'm getting older, I'm feeling it as well. The 2 parts of me that I feel the cold is, one is my hands and my fingers. When my fingers go cold, like I can never get warm, and the other one is my feet and my toes. And I've got one particular toe that just goes white when it's cold. The rest can be all red and have blood flowing through them, and then there's this one toe that's just white all on its own. And I can never get my feet warm enough. I even wear thermal socks in summer. That's how bad I am. It's just my feet. If my feet and my hands are warm, I'm warm, even if I'm in a t-shirt. Yeah, well, you've got to stay away from everybody, haven't you, Danny? That's part of the course at the moment. To be honest, mate, it's going to be like that for a while, even when we come out of lockdown. You know, if you go fishing with other people, you're going to put yourself at risk. Manchester end of the bridgie, right? Okay. even more local on Thames side with a marina, £15 a year. Is that what's it called? I thought there was a free one, wasn't there? What was the free one called? The one that has the fishing on the quays, on the Salford quays. 15 a year sounds cheap enough. Yeah, well, I've been fishing alone for a long time, Danny. Nowadays, I mean, I used to fish with someone 20 years ago, but he stopped fishing and I carried on going. And he's fishing again now, but we don't fish together. We go separately, like, and generally fish different lakes. Still keep in touch with him, like, but you know, I'm happy being on my own. Last time I went fishing with him, I took him barbel fishing on the Severn to catch him his first barbel, which he caught. He took maggots and a feeder, and he had a baby barbel, about £2, and I think he had 10 species of fish, something like that. He had absolutely everything you can think of in that river. He hooked on his maggots. He had a barbel, roach, dace, chub, perch, grayling. I think he had a trout as well. He caught all sorts. Portland Basin own the rights. Yeah, that sounds like a good one, that Gizmo, because you don't really know how much to charge you. If they charge you 15 quid a year, there's not many places you can join for the year now which will charge you that little. You know, prime carp lake, it costs you double that for 24 hours. It is bald eagle, very healthy river, the Severn. There are an awful lot of fish in that river, if you know where to look. $10 years, 52 weeks a year, yeah. Yeah, it's sad that, mate. I don't know whether you're going to go with him again when you get out of lockdown. I suppose you can, like, it's just a case of how risky you think it is. For me, it's too risky. I was packing the car the other day to go to the Brickworks for the second time, and some old fella walked past me twice as I was packing the car, the same fella, or I mean, either packing it or unloading it to come back. And the same fella's been past twice, and he stopped me on Monday and said, "Where are you going?" I said, "The Brickworks." He said, "I've got a stack of fishing gear in the house, but I can't get out now because I've got no transport." He said, "I'm a fix for coming with you." And I had to say no, you know, because I'm shielding myself. Got family who are at risk, basically, so I had to tell him no. So I won't be going with anyone, mate, even though my mum's had a jab. I'm not sure she'd get through it because she's frail. So I'm even when we come out of lockdown, I'm still going to avoid everybody. Yeah, Severn, fantastic river. It is, it's absolute class. Y is another level, yeah. Severn, Ribble, D, Dane, yeah. It's Y7, Y and 7 for me. Bit late, Ian, yeah. 10 spotlights in the kitchen ceiling. Oof. Who asked about Brooms Cross before, by the way? Ian just reminded me, I heard someone say, have you been to Brooms Cross? I can't remember who it was. Someone asked. Ian's been, mate, if you're still here. Evening, Ewan. You alright, mate? Fish spotting, walking the dog. Nice one, Gizmo. You should have it well sorted then, mate. If you've been going past it that many times, like you should have it. You should have it well sussed out by now, mate. And 15 quid a year, who's going to complain about that? It's not bad at all, is it? Not bad at all. Yeah, I've noticed. I've got I keep getting the Brooms Crossing me Facebook feed, Ian, and he seems to be promoting it quite a bit, like saying, you know, there's this 30 in there and that 30, and showing pictures of the named 30s and stuff like that. He seems to have quite a few big fish, and they do seem to come out quite a lot as well. It's a decent enough fishery, isn't it? I don't know if they're feeding the fish anything and selling it to people to fish on. I don't know, but it does seem to produce the goods. Good, Ewan. Are you still going down the canal, mate? Because it's only local to you, isn't it? I'm just glad to be fishing again, mate. I'm so pleased I can get out again. It was lovely listening to the buzzer sound and it first went off on Saturday. Oh yes. It's been such a long time. First time out as well. Great. I wasn't expecting to catch anything, to be honest. Like, I thought I might struggle. It might take me a few sessions to get into my stride, like, but I just obviously landed on you know, with the conditions right, and happy days. Got me bites. Made up with that. The bailiff's been putting maize in, right? Okay, that's say no more. Is that what everybody's catching on? Evening, Will. I was on a syndicate in that fed maize. They had vats, big blue vats that are about 3 or 4 foot high and so wide, and they took 5 20-kilo sacks to fill a vat up, and there was 10 vats, one at each end of the lake. Sorry, 2 sets of 5 at one end of the lake, 5 at the other end. So there was 500 kilos of maize at one end of the lake and 500 kilos at the other. And every Sunday, one vat would go in the lake at each end. So it was 200 kilos of maize every Sunday. And then obviously there'd be 10 more sacks put in there to start going again, start soaking. And they'd do them in rotation. So they'd be on soak for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And it was 200 kilos every Sunday afternoon. And they had a hell of a lot of big fish, but you couldn't buy a bite on anything but maize. So they used to encourage people, you know, like, get your boilies in, you know, fish over kilos and kilos of boilies. But the best way to get a bite was just go and help yourself to a bucket of maize. And yeah, of course, all my fish on maize and tiger nuts. There's absolutely no point in wasting money on boilies. Where are we? Been down here and there, struggling at the moment. Yeah. Trying everything, but we'll go to a different part tomorrow where I had my 2-pounder. That's it, mate. You've just got to keep going through the lures and the retrieves until you hit on a spot, or just keep searching. They'll be in there somewhere. I think they're getting a bit of hammer these days, the canals as well, aren't they? They seem to be getting harder as the years go by. Harder and harder to catch from, as more and more people go lure fishing. Evening Peter. Been fishing the Tame, rock hard water, now meets the Goit. From the Mersey, there's a fish, but it's hammered at the moment. 2 blanks. On the way around the restrictions. So you've got to stay local and fish the Goit and Mersey. Peter, that's is that getting hammered as well, is it? The area you're fishing? Because it doesn't, I mean, the Goit, mind you, the Goit's got quite a few decent barbel in it, hasn't it? On the quiet. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, yeah, I can imagine it is getting a bit hammered. It wasn't the Goit I was thinking of. It was somewhere else that's really fished. But yeah, the likes of Pear Mill and stuff like that's got some decent fish, hasn't it? Just a bit in each peg. Right, okay, yeah. Now, they were putting loads in. My syndicate made 200 kilos a week, just in one lake, and the same in the other 2 lakes as well. It was phenomenal, the amount of maize that was going in. But tell you what, it all got out, and the fish were a decent size. Certainly had a good few 30s out of there. Always someone sees positives to keep the vlogging weekly under such restrictions and still be ahead in the year like this. Granted, not always there, but super proud of that. Yeah, you're doing all right, Danny. You know, you've got, as long as you've got somewhere to go, you can generally keep it going, can't you? I can do mine again now, so I can start making videos. I've been taking bits of footage even at the Brickworks in the last couple of days, just like little bits and pieces that will go into future videos. So I'll be making a comeback shortly. Bald Eagle, cheers mate, thanks for popping in, and I'll see you soon. Fishing the Tame, £100 a chub, and you could see the barbel. Poaching signs everywhere. Yeah, that's the way it is, Danny. These places, they all end up like that. Litter and crap all over the place. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it, when you come across places like that, and it's just, people just have no respect at all these days with their surroundings. I don't like to see rubbish left anywhere. One good thing about the Brickworks where I am at the moment, there was a guy going round there with you know, one of those helping hand things, a grabber, and a rubbish bag. And he had it with him as he was going round the lake. So any rubbish he seen, like, was woof, and it was away. So trying to keep the place neat and tidy, which is good. Dead now, the veil. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll do a 40 as well, and they just seem to be getting bigger and bigger all the time, don't they? And I know they've got an upper 30 already, haven't they? At least one. So that's good, mate. But we'll see what happens to the ticket prices when you get one. They probably get more expensive. I know that the fella at Raby Mere here in Wirral, I was contemplating joining that last year. And I asked Rob and a few other lads how much. I actually spoke to someone at the Brickworks who joined, but his ticket doesn't start until I think the 1st of April or something like that, or the 1st of March, 1st of April. His ticket hasn't started yet anyway, so he was walking around the Brickies thinking of fishing it, and he said he got a Raby Mere ticket. I asked him how much he got charged, and it was £4.50. And Rob told us it was £4.50 a year as well, and I'm not paying that. Too much. So they've priced me out. I'll stick to Cheshire, even though it's a local water. Like, I'd rather drive an hour there and an hour back than pay £4.50 a year. But hey ho, it is what it is. Yeah, I think a lot of places aren't as good as they were years ago, Danny. Some improve as time goes on, as they get stocked and looked after. But if the place isn't looked after and it's open to abuse, then generally like it goes downhill, doesn't it? It's just one of those things. I've got this thing in my carp fishing: never go back. Once you've been on a place, never go back, because it'll never be the same again, and it won't be how you remember it. You'll have loads of good times on there, and you'll go back and you'll think, oh God, this is not good. I've been back to Cape Stonehall a few times over the years. I mean, I stopped fishing there in about 99, 2000, and I think I went back in 2012, maybe 2010, only for a couple of sessions, like just to see what it was like, and I could never summon the enthusiasm that I had for it 20 years ago, when I had my fishing head on and I was doing well on there. Like, I just never felt the same. I caught a few fish going back, you know, it didn't blank. I had a couple of nice ones out, but it just not the same. Yeah, £4.50. People will always pay it, Rob. There's people who've got the money and don't mind, and people who are desperate and will scrimp it together because they want to fish there. But it's not for me, mate. I've been fishing a long time. I've fished a lot of waters, and to me, £450 is a lot. I've only ever paid that once before. I paid 500 for D-side when I was on there, but you know, they had a lot more fish. They had more 20s than Raby Mere's got fish, and certainly more 30s. They even had a 50. So, you know, they could command £500, but I think it's too much. They've going in winter, 15 a night. Good winter form, yeah, it has, yeah. Trips over to Ireland, shadow of itself now, yeah. I don't know what's happened in Ireland, Gizmo. I don't know whether they've suffered with migrants poaching or cormorants or both, but yeah, apparently it is a shadow of its former self. £4.50 seems low. Yeah, give up all the other cards, you'll be a few £100 up. I don't think I would, Danny. I've shelled out more than £4.50 now, I think. Yeah, I have. I've shelled out about 500. So it'd just be swapping 4 or 5 cards for one round the corner, and I don't really want to do that. I'd rather keep the 4 or 5 cards, to be honest. PAS, WAA, NAA, LIM, say another small one, well over £4.50. Yeah, I don't know. My PA's £130, Warrington £50. There's £180. I paid £2.50 for Wheelock. That's what, £3.30, £4.30, £2.50, £3.50, £4.10. I've got another club card which costs £35. So 445, and I've paid 80 quid for the brickies. So around about 520, 530, something like that is how much I've paid out in tickets this year. Will, can I ask what's in Clearwater? What's in it for 1,500 quid? I've got a mate who's on Grenville, and his ticket's not much more than that. And he's got like a few 60s, loads of 50s, hundreds of 40s, and you know, so many 30s, they just don't even rate them anymore. So what do you get for your 1,500 quid on Clearwater? No, I couldn't fish one water all year, Danny. I like to be able to roam, mate. I'm a wanderer. I can't stay focused on the one place these days. I get bored. Just get bored. Yeah, mixture of them all. Zebras and Derg is a no-go unless you're piking. I'm not even sure what that means. Yeah, I have, Ian. I've got a hell of a choice of waters, mate. I've got literally hundreds to choose from, and the cards are all picked because the waters are all in the same vicinity of each other, round about the centre of Middlewich. There's, within 5 or 10 minutes of the centre of Middlewich, or say 15 minutes, there is literally a stack of waters I can fish. It helps me with my short sessions, mate, because you've got to be on the fish. So you go fishing, and if the lake you want to go to is busy and you can't get on fish, because there's no point in taking a peg that's got no fish in it. So if you can't get on fish, then you go to the next one and the next one, and you just go round a few different lakes. And usually on a Saturday afternoon, you can find a swim with fish in. Most of the fishing I do is just Saturday afternoon in the middle of the weekend. I don't fish midweek most of the time because I'm at work, and I built this channel on fishing, 5 or 6 hours on a Saturday afternoon. So as I think it was Gizmo said before, like, lots of walking, lots of looking. Walking and looking. Keeping your eyes peeled, that's what you've got to do. That's what winter taught me this year. I love chasing winter carp, but couldn't do it 52 weeks of the year. Yeah, you've got to have a break from it sometime, Danny. I find changing waters, break is as good as a rest. I can chase carp all year, I haven't got a problem with that. But I can't do it on the same place. Biggest pushing 50, few 40s, big cats, and excess to the day tickets. It's not enough, Will, is it, for 1,500 quid? That's it, pushing 50. I don't know how many 50s are in Grenville, but they've got fish in there that are over 60 and pushing 70. And his ticket's not much more than that. So I think they're asking too much again, but people will pay it. Trouble is, Ian each has his own little waters. You love to go, might even be one session, but you don't want to give up the card. Yeah. Yeah, I've got cards I'm never going to give up. I'll just pay them, even if I don't go. Can't remember the last time I visited a Wheelock water. About 4 or 5 years ago, but I keep paying the tickets every year because there is no waiting list for Wheelock anymore. It's closed. It's dead man's shoes. If I drop the tickets, I'll never get back in. So I keep paying it every year. PA, Lim, NAA, Warrington. Yeah, they're all open access, Danny, aren't they? They're all decent clubs, then. Got plenty of waters to go at there. You're never going to go short. Defo not enough. I do, Gizmo. I change what I fish for depending on the seasons. If I ever want a break. I mean, sometimes I'll chase carp all year, but a lot of the time, especially over the last few years, I've swapped. If I'm going to go barbel fishing, it'll be in July and August, because the nights are longer, and I can go the evening on the likes of the 7. I can just do an evening on there, like, and it's good. I like that. But I tend to go for high summer because there's not as much rain around and the banks aren't as slippy and treacherous. So you won't catch me on the river in winter. So any barbel fishing I do, it's June and July or August. Lure fishing, winter, November, December. The carp have shut up shop. The frost have bitten and the fishing just slows right down. But pike and perch are better suited to cold water, and you can still get bites off pike and perch through November and December. So November, December, January, go lure fishing, and then I'll go back to carp, and for February, March, springtime. So they're the changes I make, mate. It all depends on what I'm fishing for, and when I think the best time to go for them will be. Yeah, chase fish with the seasons, keeps it fresh. Yeah. 5 waters this year, carp and some cats as well. That's spreading yourself around a bit, Darian. But it is what it is, mate. You turn up on your day and you do your best with what's in front of you. And you never know, if you're in the right place at the right time, like, you get yourself a result. Some people say, you learn the venue and, you get used to its moods and stuff like that if you're on it all the time. But I just get bored. PAS and the Fed. Thinking of adding another ticket. Any ideas? Waiting to get in Debdale, but not heard anything as yet. I don't know, Peter. Not really from your neck of the woods, mate, so I can't really answer that. The good thing is he got PA, and that covers everything. Everything you could ever need is on there, and it will take you an awful long time to fish all the waters. They've got waters I've never been to, never looked at. Been around quite a few of them, like, some have fished, some I haven't, others have never even looked at. Yeah, pike and perch is alright, and they don't tend to be very big these days. Perch fishing's alright if you get on the right lake, but pike, it's very, very difficult to find big ones nowadays. The cormorants have cleaned a lot of places out, and then there isn't the food for them anymore, so they generally, if you see a double figure fish, you've done well. You'll get double out the river now and again, places like the D, stuff like that, you'll find doubles, and the odd bigger one. But the likes of the canal, doubles are quite rare. You do catch them now and again, like, and you can find them, but a lot of time it's just like singles, £10 and under, or jacks. If you want really big pike, you've got to go to a trout water where they're putting trout in all the time. Yeah. It is good being an all-rounder, Danny, but yeah, it's not the best for a YouTube channel because it, like you say, it dilutes your audience. You're not niche down into a speciality at all. So you generally tend to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. If that makes sense. Mine's like that as well. But I don't mind, you know, I've got lure fishing and barbel fishing content on mine as well. And I don't make anywhere near enough videos for either of them, but it's still there and I still do it. And if people want to watch it, they can, and if they don't mind. It is what it is, that's right. Check the rules before you join. Is there something wrong with the rules, Gizmo? Something you don't like? Yeah, pike fishing on deads. Yeah, it's not something I do a lot of. Dead basin, I give it up. I'd much rather focus on the lures myself. Do you want photos of each capture? Yeah, there's a few places bringing in rules like that, Gizmo. One of the syndicates I was in, you had to fill in when you caught a fish. They were all chipped, so they had microchips in, and you had to have a scanner to scan it, and then you'd write the microchip number down, and then you'd look it up in the books, and you'd have to sign 2 sets of books. One with your catch report, and then you'd have to find the individual fish that you'd caught and write your name in it and the weight, so that they could track the weights as they were going up and down. And it was a pain in the arse. It really was. I ended up just thinking, like, oh, for crying out loud, why can't you just leave them to just grow at their own accord, and why do you have to know every little last thing? And if you'd had a good day and caught 10 fish, you'd spend hours going through books, looking at scanned numbers and stuff like that. So all it did, it encouraged you to say, I blanked, or I only caught 1 when really I had 5 or 10. It was stupid. It was too much, and I ended up leaving the syndicate in the end. Like, it gave me notice and left. But yeah, fish and chips, tracking weights, stuff like that. Just thinking, no, just leave them. You're going over the top. You don't need to be doing things like that. I found it a ball ache myself. I did not like it at all. And if I come across another syndicate like that, I would probably not join it. I would walk away thinking, do you know what, I'd rather just have some peace and quiet without all the guff that goes with it. Bridgewater's alright, Ian. There's still carp in the bridgie. You don't always take photos. Oh, Peter, you'd have to have photos of both sides. And, you have to scan the microchip, write down the everything to do with it, like, and, yeah. Why? It's been amazing to see, as someone who is new to fish stocking, just how well fish can do. You're seeing good weight increases on Belmont. Yeah, they should fill out in there, Danny. If you've destocked it and there's not many in there, and there's only a handful, and you want them all to be 20s, then they're going to grow that big with no other fishing, no more competition for food or anything like that. And if you can feed some maize in or something like that to keep them ticking over, then they'll grow well, mate. They do fill out well. Sod that. Yeah. You're like me, Peter. Not just want to go fishing, mate. Don't want to deal with all that mither and stuff like that. I've been in a few syndicates in my time, like, and some are good and some are very bad. I was in one very good one and one very bad one, and the difference between them is unreal. There's absolutely poles apart. Infinity X 3.5s, my old rods. Yeah, I had a set of them, Rob. Infinity X 3.5s. Back in the day, they were the top rod. About, what, 20 years ago, something like that. They were the rod for long range fishing. And I had a set for years until I switched to Torics. About 7 or 8 years ago, bought me Harrison Torics. But before that, I had Infinity X 3.5s. Lovely rods, mate. They're very good. I liked them. I only replaced them because Torics were all the rage, and they were doing some good distances with them, like. But they're nice rods. How much did you pay for them, if you don't mind me asking? I sold mine second hand, you see, to one of the Wheelock lads, and I think I got $190 for the pair. And as Gizmo says, they'll still do a great job. You can sling a lead with them. £100 a pair. Wow, that's not bad, that. I'd give £100 for a pair of Infinity X's if they were in mint nick. If they're in good nick, they're well worth that. They might be an old rod, but you know, they do some good distances. Mind you, you wonder what kind of condition the blank's in after that length of time, don't you? Because the blanks lose their power over time. Yeah, you might be going in September, Danny. What was it you said before? Don't make plans, mate. Pair on the PA site, same guy, but 2.75s. Yeah, I don't want 2.75s, mate. You want the 3.5s. They were the serious chucking rod. 2.75s are okay for, you know, messing about with, I suppose, but the 3.5s were the beasts. Same price, £100. It's not bad, that, yeah. I remember selling mine for $190. I think I was asking 2.5 for them at the time. And the guy gave me a cheeky offer, and it was Christmas, and I ended up just saying yeah, let him go for the song. I should have been able to get a lot more for him, really, but I let him go for $190, and that was about 8 years ago. Stored out of the sun. All my rods are stored out to sun, Gizmo. They're all in sleeves, and I just pick the sleeve up and attach it to me sling, and that's it. I'm off. I have sleeves for every rod. Even my spot and my marker rod got sleeves, both of them. I'm surprised that, Rob, that there's nothing online regarding reviews for the Infinities, because they were the top rod years ago. I would have thought, you know, you might be able to find some old stuff on there, but I don't think they make them anymore, mate. They're gone. So you know, going forward, nobody's really going to know about them. They're almost old school. Lily pool. Oh, that's your French trip, innit? Yeah, well, fingers crossed we don't end up going backwards, Danny, and you'll be able to go on this one. I guess all you can do really is book it and see what happens. Just gonna put in a picture from last week, because some won't have seen it. That was me on Saturday. Well, hey. Few forum reviews all saying decent. That's why I thought there might be more on the net. Well, yeah, they were decent in the day, and they still are now compared to most rods. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people are buying them, whatchamacallit, Sonic ones, aren't they? Things like that. And I'd take an old pair of Infinity X over a new pair of Sonics any day. They're that good. There you go, there's my first fish of the year in the net. Well, hey. Shimano Beastmasters, cheap and cheerful. God, yeah, I remember them. Yeah, I think if you're going to France, Danny, you're going to come away with a PB bigger than that. A lot bigger, mate. If you want Belmont this year, see if you can beat a PB. Yeah, well, you know, if they're in there, Danny, I don't know what they've stocked and how big they are or anything like that, but if they've put them in there, and I know they were going to destock it, weren't they, and then just have it as 20s only. Providing they've done that, then, you know, anything you hook's like this will be a PB. So if you go, you only need to catch one. But I would imagine the fishing will be quite hard, mate. You know, they've only got a handful of fish in there. Once they've been fished for a bit and they're under a bit of pressure, there'll be long periods of time when nothing comes out. Especially on the small water. That was my first fish of the year. I guess this is for anybody who came in late, just rotating through these. I actually went through the software and added some pictures in before I started this live stream, so I'd have something to show you from last week. And that particular fish was my first double of the year on Saturday. Nice clean fish, not massive. 9.12 the first one, 11.5 that one. So there we go. Mark has been catching some fish. Be nice if PB was a mint one as well. Well, yeah, you can't always have that, Danny. Sometimes you just end up with the lake's mug. It's just one of those things. I'm quite fortunate. Most of the fish I've had have been nice looking. When I've broken a PB, I've never really done it with a scabby one. But you just have to wait and see what comes out. I would imagine if you get on it now, while the place is new, before they all get gammy mouths, then you know you're going to have a mint one. That's what you would hope for, isn't it? Alright. What do you say we call it a day, lads? I reckon we should. It's 9:30 and I've done an hour and a half. I think it's time to go and make myself a cup of tea, like, because I'm getting a bit thirsty. All I'll say before I go is there's a ticker down here. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to my Mark Carp YouTube channel, then why not? You should be. That's where most of my videos are. Gives you something to look at, that ticker, doesn't it, as it's going across. Right, yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day, lads, anyway. The Wednesday night comes to an end. I will be back next week. There will be a tipping point this year, probably after the clocks have gone back, when it will be worth my while going fishing on a Wednesday evening for the summer. So I may well wind up the live streams, or I might even change the day to a different day and keep doing them. I'll either change to a different day or wind them up, because I'll be wanting to go fishing after work when the late nights come, but it's a good few months away yet, and I'll stick with the Wednesday nights for now until then. So hopefully I'll see you all back here next Wednesday. Ian up at 6, yeah, crikey mate, you better get to bed. Need a good 8 hours. Right, I'm going to say good night. Rob, Gizmo, Ian, Danny. Got to go back now and see who else is here, haven't I? Peter. Ewan was here before. Will, if you're still around, mate. I know Chris. Carp King was here before as well. Nice one, Chris. Bald Eagle's gone. Ewan we've mentioned. Just have a scroll back and see what's what. A few others. Luke was here earlier on. Luke Wicks. Nice one, Luke. Mogs. Mogs asked who Fish Brooms Cross. Yeah. Cheers, Mogs, for asking the question, although no, I haven't. Stu, if he's around, yeah, I'll let you know, Stu. If you're watching this, I'll let you know when I'm going to Gailey, mate. When we can go again, I shall give you the shout. Carp King. And that's it, that's everybody, I think. Right, cheers lads. I'll just scroll down and see the Tara messages. There we go. Yeah, thanks Peter, cheers mate. And yeah, Gizmo for saving Peter a few quid, nice one. Take it easy guys, I'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully. Ending stream, bye bye.